Yo, what's going? So we're back at it again, doing another Fiat Farm vlog for the first time in a while. I'm having some issues with my posting because my iCloud decided to run out of storage, so I lost some of the clips that I had from previous videos. But I'll keep things short today. I'm going for more of like a short format these days, trying to keep videos less than 20 minutes. So I just have a couple of topics that I just want to get into. So, topic of the day is definitely going to be the state of this neo-economy that we're in. I call it the new economy, and I think it's going to be the most hated American economy that we've ever seen. Next, I want to get into Bitcoin, what my thoughts are on Bitcoin. And then lastly, just life in America and how it kind of all gets tied together. So starting out with the economy, my point on this economy is that it is a neo-economy. Now, what does that mean? It means that it's a new form of economy that it hasn't been seen before. I would like to say that this is truly a new generation of the modern American economy, where you have a lot of production and new technology and the GDP seems to be expanding, but you also have a lot of issues with average people, regular Americans who just can't afford anything. So we're watching the stock market make new all-time highs. Like even today, like the stock market this afternoon made a new all-time high, and stocks are exploding. Everything's exploding really, and the only thing that's really suffering right now is silver and gold. It looks like the macro trade on those might be over for the short term. Bitcoin, it made a nice little recovery over the weekends, but a lot of people are getting extremely rich off of the stock market, and I mean filthy rich, just ridiculously rich. Personal disclosure, my mentor woke up to $40,000 today, and it just reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing at the end of the day. Like some people say, oh, why don't you just go get a full-time job, or oh my god, why don't you just go learn a trade or something, or find some stability. Well, I appreciate the offers and everything, but when you watch somebody make $40, $50, $70, $80,000 in a day, it really puts things in perspective for you. So I'm not going to talk too much about that, but why is this new economy going to be so hated? Well, it's because it breaks all of the traditional norms. So, back in the day, people were told to go to college, get a medical degree, get a lawyer, get like a degree in law, get some kind of crazy education that will make you extremely competitive in the job market. So you can get a good job, get a lot of money, have stability, and eventually like find some kind of happiness. But now people are just printing money off of their phones, and content creators are getting paid astronomical amounts to just stream. Streamers themselves are literally just farming their viewers for insane amounts of cash. Like if you're on some of these YouTube streams, we just got an order. Let's see what it is. Okay, so we just got a nice little order, almost $17 for like 13 miles worth of driving. And I am not picky today. I am really not picky, so I'm willing to take just about anything that I can get right now, because if you don't mind me checking my phone. Oh, thanks. This guy is giving me a rinse. I can't turn the camera around, but he is wiping down my windows. So I'll have to see if I got anything in here for him. I really don't, but he's doing a great job though. I really needed that, man. I appreciate it. Hey boss, thank you so much. I don't have any cash,
That's
but
cool. That's cool.
you have a great day.
Yeah, you did too. I'll do a good job on the car.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Yeah, well he's getting the back right now too, and he's man, like sometimes these guys out here cleaning windshields, like they come at a great time. Like my windshield was actually pretty dirty, and he didn't even ask. He just went straight to it and started working on it, and I'm very appreciative. He definitely did a great job. Yeah, I gave him a water bottle for his troubles. I wish I had some cash, but man, keeping cash these days, you know. But anyway, what I was just talking about. Yeah, so these days, you know, if you're watching streamers or people on YouTube doing lives, like these guys are just printing money just off of donations. Like I've seen some of my favorite YouTubers, whenever they do like a live, like they will get like $100 donations, $200 donations, $300 donations, almost back to back, like regularly every night, and they're making very good money just off of YouTube. And it's not even from their streams, likes, subscribes, promotions. It's just off of donations. Streamers, they get the same thing, making really good money just off of donations. And the people who are doing that are honestly making more money than anything anybody's really willing to pay you to do, you know? Like, no, like even lawyers, I don't think they get paid like starting lawyers, I don't think they get paid like $600 an hour. Like I've seen people run up thousands of dollars within the span of like a 2-hour stream just off of donations. Same thing goes for like me doing DoorDash right now, you know, like I'm unemployed, but I'm making what most people would consider to be sustainable income just off of me driving around listening to music. And it's like, because this is the case, it's making it very hard for the people that were born into the legacy system to find a way to make that adjustment. Because how are you going to realistically go from 6-7 years in higher education and then flip to being a content creator? I mean, you can do it, but it's like it's a really tough pill to swallow to say, hey, you know, in a way, a lot of the information, skills, and things I've learned over the past, 10 years might not be the vehicle that produces me the most amount of income. And there's nothing wrong with going to school. I think you can learn. I think it's essential to get a quality education. Don't get me wrong at all. I think people that did go to college or did obtain some form of higher learning will do phenomenal in the long term just off of what they've learned and the value that they can now bring to society. But unfortunately, that doesn't really translate into you making a lot of money coming straight out of school or whatever. And that's not just for college students too. Middle class families are experiencing the same thing. The jobs that they've held for 10, 15, 5, 10 years, that were promising them the stability to be able to take care of their household and provide for their families, it's not keeping up with inflation. So even that the commitment that they've put in to their jobs, their careers, their organizations is now almost yielding minimal or inconsequential returns to what is needed for them to actually take care of their family, which is causing people to go into debt who normally have been doing great. And at the same time where, these middle-class families, these college students, people like me, really can't afford just about anything, the stock market's going parabolic. Like, it's going parabolic. Like, if you are a trader or you keep up with the stock market and you just been watching the moves that have been happening over the last, like, we'll be generous and we'll just call it a month. Like, over a month, it's been ridiculous. Like, the amount of money that has been made in the stock market is just insane. So when you have people that are literally printing $40,000 on the day before 10 a.m. and then you also have people who are working 60 hours a week and making like $600, the gap widens, and it widens in a way that it doesn't make sense for everybody else, because now that all this money is being made in the stock market, it's just pushing the prices higher and higher and higher, making it even harder for people like me or people who are still getting started to be able to even get in. Like, they're trying to figure out, how can I start making money like everybody else is making money in this stock market, cryptos, whatever, but they're getting priced out of it because the entry fee is just becoming ridiculous. And it's for most people, it's crazy, you know. Like, if you want to, I would say if you wanted to trade, you know, like the market, like maybe a year and a half ago, you could do it with like 30 to like $70. Now, starting out, like, you're gonna need at least 150, and that's for like like an entry position, you know. Like 100 barely cuts it, you know. Like, if you're a decent trader, absolutely, you can make $100 do magic. But if you're like just getting started out and you're like, hey, I want to buy stocks, like I want to invest into my future, you're gonna be a little bit hard pressed to be able to do something with $100. But we'll return to that in a second once I pick up this order. We got our little order. Let's get to it. Okay. Yeah, so why is it going to be hated, the most hated economy then? Well, because Wall Street and the top echelons of society are already positioned. They're already in position with most of the next gen stuff. Like, I mean, you might have quantum that's kind of like untapped, that has some potential and whatnot, but it's like you're just gonna see the rich people get extremely rich, while the entry fee for most people that aren't, you know, is gonna be ridiculous. Like sure, if you want to invest in the market, you know, go buy the Qs, go buy the S&P, whatever, but you're paying like almost close to $700 per share. That is someone's check. After that is a great check for somebody after taxes. Now, if you get paid weekly or bi-weekly, you know, that definitely changes things. But imagine having to fork over a whole check to buy one share of the market. Like, how long do you think it's going to take for somebody to have enough exposure to the market to where it actually matters, you know? So, yeah, the market's just going to keep rallying. And the reason that is because it's no longer an economy that's based around average workers or, you know, like middle class families or people who are on the ground level. The money has shifted and consolidated on the upper end. So data centers, energy security, big tech, AI, quantum, blockchain, all of those things are consolidating all of the money in the economy at the very high end. So it's like, even if the regular average consumer falls off, it's not going to impact the market. It's not going to impact the stock market, you know? If everybody gets laid off tomorrow, the market's just going to go on a frenzy. It's going to go on a tear. Done are the days where something bad used to happen to the country and everybody sells out of all their positions. Like, yeah, if the government shutdown continues and people stop getting paid and people have to start pulling out money from the market to go, you know, pay for groceries or pay for food or pay off debts or whatever, it's just going to get bought up by the big money. Like, it doesn't matter if retail gets scared or people start cashing in their 401ks all of a sudden. The money has shifted to the upper echelon and they control most of the money. So that just means the market's going to continue to do amazing things, and people aren't going to be able to afford to even consider joining the fund, you know, because it's as volatile as heck right now. It's extremely volatile, and it's extremely chaotic too. So it's not an environment for it's not an environment for people who are looking for a stable cash flow producing investment. Like, it's pure volatility, speculation, and cyclical news. So, and most people just can't do it. Most people can't do it, especially if you're coming into the market trying to get rich. You're gonna get demolished. You will get demolished in ways that you couldn't even comprehend. Like, you will lose money when you think you should be making money in this market. And the big money, they're doing great, man. They've got their position back in April. Well, I hope they did. Well, you know, like a little bit after April, I'm sure no hedge fund manager was just aggressively buying up that dip. But after the dip came and went and we started testing like 600s on the SPY again, yeah, I'm sure they all started throwing their money back in. So big money's positioned. They're just going to keep riding the trend. But it's going to be a very hated rally because no one's going to understand it. They're going to be like, hey, I can't get a job. I can't pay rent. I can't buy food. Why the heck is the stock market doing so well when I, an American, am doing so poorly? And it's not going to make any sense. People are going to be out of work, losing jobs, going hungry, going homeless. Everything's going to be crashing and burning, and then the market's just going to be doing like it's little dancey dance, and people are going to hate it. People already hate it. They're like, it doesn't make sense that the economy is crashing, but the stock market is just blasting through the roof. That, for a lot of people, is going to be why it's one of the most hated economies, because it's no longer an economy that values producing value or business ventures or being financially responsible. It's going to reward people who take on leverage and speculate. It's a speculator's economy right now, because if you look at the real GDP, most states in America are in a recession. And the only thing that's keeping America from being in a recession are like big tech. Data centers and AI basically make up all of the US's economic production. Alright, so getting on to the next topic, Bitcoin. I made a couple videos for Bitcoin over the last week, but I had some issues with my iCloud, so I lost some of the files. I might see if I can go back and recover some or do what I can to get some of the content out. You know, it sucks if I lose those videos. If not, you know, I might just make them into clips. But so, did anybody catch that dip to 105? Like, man, I panic bought that dip, and I was kind of proud that I did, you know, because I saw it drop down to like 105 and then jump back up to 108 on the big liquidation day for crypto. And it was absolutely terrifying because I was like, oh snap, this is what I want, you know, this is what I want to see. And I don't know how long I'm going to be able to buy at these prices. So I panic bought. I bought like, I think it was like $200 or $300 worth right around like 108. And then like over the last like 1 or 2 weeks, I've been aggressively buying this dip. Just been kind of, I don't really know how to feel about it, because I would have loved to use that money for a lot of other things over the last like week or whatever. Over the last 2 weeks, I've been very low on liquidity just because I've been just eating on this Bitcoin dip. But I thought we might have gotten into a bear market, you know, like we got close to like 103, 104. if we broke through 1 at 100, I knew we were getting into a bear market, but what can I say? The support line held, and all is well. We're close to all-time highs again. We're sitting at like 115 at the time of this recording, and yeah, super stable. I really like it. Having kind of switched to Bitcoin as like my own monetary base, I like it. So how does Bitcoin relate to all of this? Well, I can't really speak on that, you know. Bitcoin is a monetary network, and it's really just based on who's using it and who's buying it, you know. We can realistically stay at these prices forever if no one buys it or no one sells it. If we just trade at these prices indefinitely, you know, that can happen, and I'm okay with that. But, you know, realistically, I think we might get into an explosion of price here pretty soon, just because of the accumulation factor, you know? A lot of people got liquidated and got scared out of crypto. That was an epic opportunity for the big money to really take advantage of that and shake out the weak hands, but also, you know, get in position for the eventual run-up. Every time crypto dips, it's really just, when I say crypto, I'm talking about Bitcoin and like Ethereum specifically, but whenever it dips, it's really just an opportunity for big money who haven't come around yet and quite understood the opportunity to get in, you know? So a lot of people that were like, dang, you know, I missed Bitcoin at 99, I missed it at 95, I missed it at 100, you know? I want to buy it, but I don't want to buy it at all-time highs. So big money, they crash the market, so all of their clients, all of the hedge funds can get a starter position at like support. I'll call like 100K support on Bitcoin. And yeah, it's people are building on Bitcoin and using it for the future. Like, it's already happening. It's just that a lot of people haven't caught on to it yet. So I love Bitcoin as a currency. I think it's the best currency as an investment. I like it, you know. I really like this. The thing that really works for me with Bitcoin is the scarcity factor. I love the fact that there's a capped supply on Bitcoin, because it takes away the speculation aspect of it, you know? Like, whenever you're trading stocks or really doing anything with like traditional equities for that matter, there's always just so much to choose from, and you never really know like which one's gonna be the best, you know? Because you might have $1,000 to invest, but do you go buy Nvidia? Do you go buy Apple? Do you buy the QQQs? Do you buy Strategy? Do you buy Quantum? Do you buy Nuclear? It's like all of those things, right? And you're like, dang, I want to make money. I want to make a return, and I want it to be a good experience to where I'm not experiencing 22% drawdowns every other day. You know, I want a stock that relatively just goes up and to the right and has good future, and you know, that's what people want. But you always have to compare one against the other. So is it AMD or Nvidia? Is it gold or is it the SPY? Is it Bitcoin or is it Ethereum? You know, like, it's always like, which one do I pick? And it's really hard, you know, because you're like, this one might give me a 12% return, the other one might give me a 20% return, and it makes it hard for people to really just have conviction and really like just commit to the investment, because they're always like, oh, what is this gonna do, which one's gonna move faster, which is the best strategy, do I sell this, buy this, and buy this, sell this? It's like it's all over the place, you know, it's complicated. But with Bitcoin, you know the supply is gonna run out at some point. Like, you know that one day they're just gonna stop you know, they're just going to stop releasing Bitcoins on the market, or the amount that they release is just going to be so small that it just doesn't matter. So you're almost encouraged to just accumulate regardless of the price, which is great, you know, because I don't have to worry about, oh, if I put $50 into Bitcoin, you know, I don't get to trade the SPY today. It's like, no, it's like, buy Bitcoin today, because every other asset, every other equity is always going to be there. Like, there's always going to be a stock that's going to go up 100% in a day. There's always going to be a stock that has the next 10 years unlocked. There's always going to be a new stock that just revolutionizes something and creates a new bubble, and everybody just wants to go crazy for it. That's always going to happen. But with Bitcoin, there is no always. There is no, oh, I'll always be able to get a starter position. It's never too late to invest. At some point, it will be too late to realistically invest. At some point with Bitcoin, there's going to be no one who's going to sell you Bitcoin for fiat currency. You're going to have to pay them what they think is of equal value to their holdings, and it's not going to be in fiat. So you might have to sell a business. You might have to sell a property. You might have to sell yourself. I mean, at some point. So that's why I'm able to aggressively buy an asset without worrying about the ROI and how it compares to other investment vehicles. I can just buy Bitcoin and do nothing. And strategies like that are honestly the best, because, you know, I'm a low risk trader. You know, I don't have $100,000 of play money. You know, I'm not rich. I'm not wealthy. I'm not the guy you see on YouTube or Instagram who's just raking in $15,000 every other day. That's not me. So I don't really have the stomach to put up like $1,000 and then just hope that my trade plays out, you know, especially not every day, you know. Like, even I'm in a $200 position right now, and it's taking like every ounce of strength that I have not to like stress about it, you know. Like, it's forcing me to, like, I don't know, like, it's forcing me to like just be calm and patient and let the trade play out. But I couldn't do that if I had I couldn't do that if I had $1,000 on the line, you know. Like, I couldn't do that if I had $2,000 just exposed to the market, waiting for some headline to potentially just ruin everything. But we're gonna drop off this order, and then we are going to hopefully close out this this video on the final note of the average life for the American and how it relates to all of this. I think I'll talk about fiat farming a bit too. All right. Yeah, so Bitcoin is great. I like it again because I can have a very large position with a high amount of exposure to Bitcoin and the crypto industry as a whole, and not really care that much, you know. Like I'm not worried about it, you know. So it's like, even if I do get a 30% drawdown on everything that I own, it's like, I don't care. But like I stomach, it's hard for me to stomach like a $70 loss, you know. So me seeing like my position go down like $70, like it literally makes me queasy. And it's not because, like, you know, I have low conviction in my trades, or I'm like weak, soft hands or whatever. It's just because my risk tolerance is different. Like, I'm fiat farming today, not necessarily to buy Bitcoin today, but because I have payments that I have to make in order to uphold my financial obligations. So I have to close out the day with $100 cash so I can pay my financial obligations. And if I were to lose $70 on the day, that could easily set me back on what's needed for me. But with Bitcoin, like, we had that big drop. I didn't even consider selling. I haven't the idea of selling out my Bitcoin position hasn't even crossed my mind, and it will never cross my mind because I'm probably just never going to sell, which makes it such an easy buy and hold. It's because you're just not worried about it. So that's my thing for Bitcoin. I think a lot of smart and wealthy people are also starting to adopt this idea as well, because they're like, hey, I can just put $500,000 into Bitcoin, and there's no fees. I don't have to pay anybody to manage anything. There's no maintenance or upkeep like there is with real estate, and because it's a finite asset, I never have to worry about dilution. Like it's literally the perfect. It's the perfect setup. Like it's literally the perfect setup. You like. But that's just me. Getting into the average American though, what am I seeing on the ground just where I live? It is bad. It's really bad right now. It is terrible. Like I remember when I was what I would like to call in the hell pit. It was like over the last like I wouldn't say this year, but between like 22 and like 24, I was absolutely in the hell pit. And like those were the days where the amount of money I could spend on food on the daily was like literally like $3. Like I was surviving off of like Sam's Club's hot dogs and those little snack trays. Like, do you know like those snack trays that they have in like Sam's Club cafeterias, where you get like a little bit of crackers, a little bit of cheese, and it's like $2 or $3. I was literally surviving off of those, and like there were days where like I couldn't even afford to get water, so I would have to go to the apartment complex gym and use the water fountain there for like regular water consumption while I wasn't out and about. Like there were days where I would go like weeks without owning paper towels, and I would have to do like a re-up on like paper towels, and my budget was like $7, and that would have to last me like a month. And it was bad. It was really, really bad. And not only was it bad, it lasted for a very long time too. And like, it was just bad. I'm not gonna get into it, but it was very bad. Let's just keep it at that. Now, a lot of the experiences that I had during those times, I'm starting to see the vast majority of other people also start to experience. Like I remember when it was, do I eat today or do I pay my bills? Is it do I eat today or do I get gas so I can go to work? Or do I not eat today and, you know, and just do what I need to do? Like, you have to make unrealistic sacrifices almost every day, and the amount of work that you do doesn't necessarily determine whether or not you're able to survive. Like I remember the 2 weeks before I lost it all, and I lost my apartment, and I lost everything that came with it, lost my lifestyle, lost everything that was important to me. And I remember, like, when I actually capitulated. I don't like this memory at all. I really hate that it happened this way, but I capitulated, and it was because I was averaging like $60 of profit a day, and I had to come up with like $4,000 cash within 2 weeks, and I just gave up. I was like, bro, I had no chance. Well, I did have a chance. There's always a chance for you to turn your situation around, but taking it at face value, if you're only making about $60 to $70 a day, best case, and you have to make $4,000 in 2 weeks to pay for your car, bills, rent, literally everything else, it's like you just can't do it. Like, no one can tell me, oh, bro, just work harder. It's like, it doesn't matter how hard you work at a certain point. You won't be able to afford it. And a lot of people are finding that out, that, hey, you know, I work 60 hours a week, but the most I'm able to afford is rent and utilities. Like, everything else is like, you just can't do it. And it's not, and no one can say, oh man, you're working 60 hours a week. What are you? What are you waiting for the man of the house to come home? You should be working 90. You should be working 100 hours every single week. And it's like, well, man, even if I did do that, you know, it would only marginally increase my situation. Even if I was to get paid for a 100-hour work week, you know, it's like, you know, if you're making you work 100 hours and you're only making 18 an hour and you get taxed 30%, you're still only making $1,300 a week. And if your living expenses are $3K by yourself and you're taking care of a family, it doesn't matter how much you work. And which is causing a lot of people to go into debt. So debt is becoming America's new identity. Who do you owe and how much do you owe them? Klarna, credit cards, personal loans, margin, like you name it, they've got it. They've got a way to make you in debt to everybody. Like, I'm sure I owe somebody money that I haven't even accounted for, and I'm good with my finances. I'm not stellar. I'm not like a 900 credit rating or anything, but like I know what I owe to who I owe and how long it's going to take for me to pay them off, or what the interest is going to be on it, you know? Like, I at least know that. But within this economy, there might be someone I don't know. There might be someone I owe that I don't even know that I owe them, you know? And that's what's going to happen with America, you know? And it might seem bad right now, but just wait for the fallout. The fallout is really going to be what sucks, you know, because it sucks to lose a job. It sucks to not be able to afford stuff. But wait for people's emergency funds, their savings, their checkings to run out, and then wait for their credit to max out as well. Once people start maxing out their cards, and they also have no savings and no money to their name, and they don't have enough money to keep up with ends, that's when things are going to get really, really bad. And unfortunately, it's not like 2008. It's not like where if everybody goes down that, you know, the government just has to reboot itself and start, I don't know, like and do something, you know. I'm not going to say do something smart, but do something, you know. The way our country is currently set up right now, it's like it doesn't really matter how bad it gets for the average person, because the average person in America has no power. We've relinquished control of the individual to the few and the powerful, and we're hoping that their sweat trickles down their face and drops from the heavens and waters our plants and our crops. Like, no, that's not going to happen. If you lose your job and you go homeless, you're cooked. So a lot of people are going homeless, and they're like, yo, what do I do? How do I pay for stuff, you know? The job market sucks, wages suck, and everything's too expensive. It's like, yes, exactly. That is exactly how it is right now. So how do you survive in America? Man, let me know when you find out. Like, I get it, you know, Americans suck. We brought this on ourselves. We shouldn't have started a trade war with every single country and ruined our relationships with all of our allies, and basically gave away the keys to being the global hegemon to some other country. Hey, I get it, you know. I was part of the camp that said, let's not do all these things. But it doesn't matter, you know. As an American, I still hold some of the responsibility for my fellow countrymen, and that's okay. But if you're not an American and you are watching this video, just know that it's bad over here too. Like, it might be bad where you live, and I understand that Americans have been fortunate for a very long time, but I would like to say that luck is running out for most people. It's no longer the land of the free. Nothing's free over here. This is the land of the indebted. You might have a good life, but you won't own anything. Now, it's not just Hey, I'm talking about the average American here, the average person. I'm not coming after anybody. I'm not saying that life is going to suck for you or that you have no hope. That's not what I'm saying. From my perspective right now, looking at my cohort and everybody who's around my age group and tax bracket, we're all fucked. Sorry, excuse my language, but that's just the truth. Like, what should I tell somebody when they can't afford transportation, they're priced out of living pretty much anywhere, there's no jobs, and, you know, money printing is about to accelerate? Like what should I tell somebody? What should I tell somebody in my age group who can't get a job right now and can barely afford a third of their living expenses? It's like, I get it. Americans are fortunate. We're the wealthiest country on the planet, but that wealth is not distributed amongst all Americans. That wealth is not distributed, again, amongst all Americans. So it's like, yeah, you know, America might be well off, but hey, a dude just cleaned my car for free, and I gave him a water bottle because I don't have any cash. Like, that's the reality of it, you know? People are out here cleaning other people's car windows for free in hopes that they get some sort of, like, generous charitable donation or a handout, but the people that they're helping out have nothing to give them. That's the reality. Like, if I had cash, if I had a 5 on me, if I had a 10 on me, heck yeah, more than happy to help out the community, you know, more than happy to make someone else's day easier. But unfortunately, I don't. The only money that I'm gonna have today is my Fiat Farm. So that's the boat that the average American is in. Now, if you're well established and you've been investing your entire life and you have money, you're fine. Like, if you have a house and you've got money and you're retired or have enough income to weather the storm, you're fine, bro. But that's not the average American right now. The average American can't afford a house and realistically shouldn't even want a house, you know? Alright, now to tie it all up with my favorite topic, Fiat farming. Man, I just love Fiat farming. Like, I'm just out here making money, and yeah, like, I'm just gonna do this all day today, and I literally have nothing else to do because nothing else is worth my time or money. It's like, I could go apply for a job or something, but why would I go apply for a job? Sure, if someone's willing to pay me like $45 to $50 an hour to do just about anything, I'll do it. But that's not gonna happen, you know? That's not gonna happen. But Fiat farming is great because I have to make $100 today so I can go buy Bitcoin tomorrow. And then once I make the $100 today that I need to make, I'm free. I'm free to do whatever I want with my money. I can go buy more Bitcoin. I can trade with it. I can get another funded futures account. And it's just great. I'm up like $20 today, and I've got no complaints. You know, it's great. I like the gig economy, you know? I like the gig economy where it's just kind of hustle based, where for me, I like it. It's not for everybody, but I like the hustle economy where it's like you as an individual produce value, not your company does something for another company and then like collectively you all join in on the profits or whatever, you know? I don't really like that sort of stuff. I don't like working at places where it's like 100 people are all on the same task and we just work together to accomplish a task that some guy set up for us, you know? I don't really enjoy that, you know? I like doing my own stunts. I like making my own moves, you know? I like doing what I think is a good idea. So, it's not for everybody, but I like the fact that I can just sit in my car, adjust the steering wheel, press gas, and make money, you know. And I don't have to report to anybody. I don't have to justify myself or whatever. And at the end of the day, I can take whatever money I make and I can go try to buy more money printers, as some would say. But yeah, just dropped off that order. I think we're going to close this out, and I'm going to be Fiat farming the rest of the day. Message for you guys is keep buying Bitcoin or doing whatever you want to do, and try to find, if you are living in America, you need to find a peace of mind. You need to be able to be in a house that is burning down with people running around and screaming their heads off, and be able to say, I'm at peace with this, and I'm at peace with everything that's going on around me. Because if you get caught up in all the noise and all the chaos, it's going to drive you insane, and it's not going to end. It's not going to end, and it's not going to get any better. So it's best for you to just acclimate to these new conditions and find a way to have some peace, you know, because even if you are doing well in these times, or even if you're not doing well, it doesn't really matter if you just can't find peace. Like, even if you got rich during the whole April meltdown all the way to now, maybe if you were just some genius who knew exactly what was going to happen over the last like 9 months, and you literally just hit everything out of the park, and you're just infinitely wealthy now because of that, man, you still need to be able to find peace of mind. Because it's like, whether you're rich, you're broke, you've got nothing, you have everything, if you don't find contentment with what you have now, when your dream space when you finally do have your dream space and everything's working perfectly for you in life as you envisioned, then you'll never be happy. You have to find contentment now, so when you achieve what you want to achieve, you can enjoy it. Because it's very easy for you to obsess over what sort of things that you want to happen and they don't happen, and you're sad or whatever, you know. You just have to find a way to find peace amongst the chaos. That way, if things do work out well for you, you know, you're already geared for that contentment. Or if things don't work out well for you, you know, you can at least have some peace of mind. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna close it out.